The year is 410 AD. Imagine the once mighty Roman Empire now crumbling under its own weight. The legions, those symbols of invincible might, are leaving Britannia. Their departure marks the end of an era. Centuries of Roman rule are over. This withdrawal leaves a void, a vacuum of power waiting to be filled. Britannia, once a vibrant province of Rome, is vulnerable. The Romanized Britons, accustomed to the empire's protection, are left to fend for themselves. Picts from the north and Irish raiders from the west sense weakness. They begin to test the island's defenses, their raids growing bolder with time. Amidst this uncertainty, a new force emerges from the east. Across the North Sea, from the shores of modern-day Denmark and Germany, come warriors seeking new lands. These are the Angles, Saxons and Jutes, the Anglo-Saxons. Their arrival will forever alter the course of British history, marking the beginning of a new chapter filled with both turmoil and transformation. The arrival of the Anglo-Saxons was not a grand invasion but a gradual influx. Imagine longboats, their prows adorned with fierce beasts, landing on the shores of Britain. These were not refugees fleeing hardship. They were conquerors, seeking land, wealth, and glory. They came with their families, their livestock and their gods, ready to carve out a new destiny for themselves. The Britons, initially caught off guard, soon resisted fiercely. Legends like that of King Arthur, though shrouded in myth, speak to the Britons' valiant but ultimately futile struggle. The Anglo-Saxons, however, were relentless. Their iron weapons and superior tactics gradually pushed back the Britons. Through battles both large and small, the Anglo-Saxons established footholds. They pushed inland, driving the Britons westward. The land once ruled by Roman governors was slowly being claimed by these Germanic newcomers. A new era was dawning, one where the names of Wessex, Sussex, and Northumbria would be etched onto the very fabric of Britain. From the ashes of Roman Britain arose a patchwork of Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. These were not unified but often at odds with each other. The most powerful were the kingdoms of Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, Essex, Kent, Sussex, and Wessex. This collection of kingdoms became known as the Heptarchy. Each kingdom had its own ruler, its own customs, and its own ambitions. Competition for land and resources was fierce. Alliances were forged and broken, often through marriage or bloodshed. It was an era of constant struggle, where strength and cunning were essential for survival. Yet, amidst the chaos, a sense of shared identity began to emerge. The Anglo-Saxons, though divided by geography and ambition, were bound by language, culture, and a growing sense of belonging to this new land. They were no longer simply invaders, but the founders of a new order, laying the groundwork for a unified England. Just as the Anglo-Saxons had disrupted the fragile peace of post-Roman Britain, a new threat emerged from the sea. Imagine the terror that gripped coastal communities as Viking longboats adorned with fearsome dragon heads appeared on the horizon. These were not mere raiders but skilled warriors and ruthless plunderers. The Vikings, hailing from Scandinavia, were driven by a thirst for wealth and land. Their raids were swift and brutal, targeting monasteries and towns with terrifying ferocity. Monasteries, repositories of knowledge and wealth, were easy prey. The Vikings showed no mercy, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, once rivals, now faced a common enemy. The Vikings threatened to undo centuries of progress, to plunge England back into chaos. It was a time of great peril, demanding unity and strength from a people accustomed to internal strife. In the face of the Viking onslaught, one king rose to prominence. His name was Alfred, and he ruled the kingdom of Wessex. Alfred was not a warrior king in the traditional sense. He was a scholar, a lawgiver, and a man of deep faith. Yet he possessed a steely resolve and a strategic brilliance that would earn him the title, the Great. In 878 AD, Alfred faced a crushing defeat at the hands of the Viking warlord Guthrum. Forced to flee into hiding, Alfred could have easily surrendered. Instead, he gathered his remaining forces and launched a daring counterattack. At the Battle of Edington, Alfred outmaneuvered the Vikings, securing a victory that saved Wessex from subjugation. Alfred understood that victory in battle was not enough. He knew that England needed to be strong to resist future threats. He oversaw the construction of fortified towns known as burhs, and strengthened the navy. More importantly, he fostered a revival of learning and culture, believing that a strong nation needed a strong mind. Alfred's victory at Edington marked a turning point in the fight against the Vikings. He had not only saved Wessex but had also ignited a spirit of resistance across England. Alfred's successors, his son Edward the Elder and his daughter Athelflaed, would continue his work, gradually pushing back the Vikings and expanding the influence of Wessex. Edward the Elder, a skilled military leader, focused on consolidating his father's gains. He strengthened alliances with other Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, forging a united front against the Viking threat. He campaigned relentlessly, pushing northwards and reclaiming territory lost to the Vikings. Ethelflaed, known as the Lady of the Mercians, was a ruler of extraordinary ability. She was a shrewd diplomat and a fearless military commander. She understood the importance of fortifications and oversaw the construction of a network of burhs across Mercia. Her strategic brilliance was instrumental in weakening Viking control over central England. Ethelflaed's reign was marked by her unwavering determination to secure Mercia's borders and drive back the Viking invaders. She was not content with simply defending her own kingdom. She understood that the fate of Mercia was intertwined with that of the other Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. She formed a strong alliance with her brother, Edward the Elder, and together they launched a series of coordinated campaigns against the Vikings. One of Athelflaed's most significant achievements was the capture of Derby in 917. Derby was a major Viking stronghold, and its fall was a significant blow to their power in the Midlands. The following year, she captured Leicester, another important Viking center. Her victories struck fear into the hearts of the Viking warlords and inspired hope in the Anglo-Saxon people. Yet, Ethelflaed was not solely focused on military conquest. She was also a wise and just ruler who cared for her people. She supported the church and promoted education. She understood that true strength lay not only in military might but also in the well-being and unity of her people. The culmination of these efforts to unify England came in 937 AD at the Battle of Brunanburh. This wasn't just another border skirmish, it was a clash of titans, a battle that would decide the fate of England. On one side stood Athelstan, Edward the Elder's son, and heir to the Wessex throne. He was a young and ambitious king, determined to finish what his father and aunt had started. Facing Athelstan was a formidable alliance. Constantine II, King of Scotland, had joined forces with Owain, King of Strathclyde, and Olaf Guthfrithson, the Viking King of Dublin. They sought to halt Athelstan's growing power and reassert their own dominance over the British Isles. The stage was set for one of the most important battles in English history. The battle raged for an entire day, a brutal and bloody affair. Anglo-Saxon chronicles describe the fighting as unusually fierce, with both sides fighting with incredible courage and ferocity. In the end, Ethelstan's forces emerged victorious, crushing the Viking and Scottish alliance and securing the unity of England. The victory at Brunanburh was a watershed moment in English history. Athelstan had proven himself to be a formidable warrior king, capable of uniting the disparate Anglo-Saxon kingdoms under his banner. He was not content with simply being the King of Wessex. He now claimed the title of King of the English, a title that had never been used before. Athelstan's reign marked the true birth of England as a unified nation. He established a centralized government, standardized laws and coinage, and promoted a shared sense of English identity. He understood that true unity required more than just military dominance. It required a shared culture, a common purpose, and a sense of belonging that transcended regional divisions. Ethelstan's reign was not without its challenges. He faced rebellions from within and threats from without, yet he met these challenges with the same determination and skill that had won him victory at Brunanburh. He left behind a legacy of unity and strength that would shape the destiny of England for centuries to come. Ethelstan's reign, though seemingly distant in the annals of history, continues to resonate in the modern era. His legacy is etched in the very fabric of England, from the unification he achieved to the foundations of governance he laid down. He is often heralded as the Father of England, a testament to his pivotal role in shaping the nation's destiny. Traveling through England today, one encounters echoes of Ethelstan's reign. The ruins of ancient burhs, built to withstand Viking attacks, stand as silent witnesses to his strategic brilliance. Churches and monasteries, many of which were founded or supported during his reign, serve as reminders of his patronage of the church and his commitment to learning. Beyond physical structures, Æthelstan's legacy lives on in the very idea of England itself. He forged a nation from a collection of warring kingdoms, instilling a sense of unity and shared purpose that would endure for centuries. His reign marks the transition from a fragmented past to a unified future, a pivotal chapter in the story of England. The birth of England was not a singular event, but a protracted process, a tapestry woven from threads of conflict, conquest, and ultimately, unity. From the withdrawal of the Roman legions to the establishment of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, from the terror of the Viking raids to the triumph of Æthelstan at Brunanburh, the path to unification was paved with challenges and triumphs. As we stand today, amidst the rolling hills and bustling cities of modern England, it's easy to forget the tumultuous journey that shaped this nation, yet the echoes of the past are all around us, whispering tales of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring human spirit that strives for unity in the face of adversity. The story of England's birth is a reminder that nations are not static entities but ever-evolving tapestries, woven from the threads of history, shaped by the forces of conflict and cooperation. It is a story that continues to unfold, carrying within its threads the legacy of those who fought, struggled, and ultimately united to create the England we know today.